Okay, I have a little time today, and I've been wanting to make a video about my collection. Well, is that I don't really collect knives, so this is just my knives that I've been collecting or just piling up, and this is what I got. Let me start from the smallest one. This one here is a Gerber small skinny knife, and it doesn't say the model. I'm looking at it. It doesn't say the model, but it's a very lightweight. I'm going to be getting the weights on the knives too, in case you need to know. And this is a good little carry-on knife that you can use for gutting small animals. I guess you can even use it on deer. I prefer going a little bigger, but it's a good backpack knife, and basically that's one of the things I use it for. Okay, then I have my original long time. This is called a Precise Deer Slayer. I had this knife for over, oh geez, I don't know, 25, maybe 30 years. This knife I've always used for skinning, and it's gone with me to Wyoming and Utah and Montana and all the western states. It holds a very good edge on it, and good balance, and I've used it all the way to Indiana. Very, very good knife. And this is also one of my backpacking knives, which this one weighs, let's see real quick, 8.2 with the sheath. This one weighs 3.2 with the sheath. Without the sheath, it's 2.4, I believe. Then I bought this, I don't know, they used to call it the Wyoming knife. It's also a good skinner, and I've used it on a couple of deers in Indiana. And this thing is sharp. I could just take a piece of meat right there. And I lent this to this guy that was skinning and gutting some deer, and he did like 3, like nothing. He was pretty surprised the way it worked. You just hook it and pull it, and this thing would just open it up like a zipper. So it's also a very good backpacking knife. It's not that big, and the weight on this is, let me see this scale. I have to turn it on every time. It turns off by itself. This is 6.4 with the sheath, and it's a, oh, you know what? Let's see. It's a, well, it says here stainless 687. It's a United knife. It's got a buck on the skin. I don't know if you can see that. And it says United right here. Don't really know. Never heard of that brand. I've had this also for a few years. The other day I was in, I believe it was Ace Hardware Store, and they have this cabinet that you come in and you can see all these knives on display, and I saw this one. I think I paid a little bit too much, because I found out later, it's a Gerber, I found out later you can probably get it for 20, 21 bucks online. Well, I paid like 38, but you know what? This thing is sweet. This thing is sweet. Super sharp. It's got the sharp teeth here. It's made in Portland, and this baby weighs 4.5, and then if I throw the sheath on that, it's 5.5. So it's very lightweight, very well made. Thing locks solid. You can carry this with you all day long, and you're never gonna get tired with this knife. You can use this for serious gutting and cutting and skinning. Very good knife. And I have this thing. This is like a Mexican memento. It says here in Spanish, it says memory or something, memories. It's a memento. This thing, it just doesn't even have an edge on it. It's just a little cheapy thing. This is actually my carry-on, my pocket knife that I always carry around. It's an outdoor edge knife. It's the 20th year anniversary on the knife, and of course it's made in China. But the knife, you know what, for what it is very solidly made. It's not that heavy. I always carry it with me in my pocket, and it's a knife that you can use for whatever. And I'm always cutting little, boxes or rope or whatever. It's very good, very handy. And the weight on this is 4.0, and that's usually what I carry in my pocket. Or I can go to this little thing. This thing is probably, 3-finger blade. It's about 2.5 inches. It's also a Gerber. It clips on your belt. It's a little on the little side, because sometimes I gotta dig for it in my pocket if I put it inside my pocket. But it's very well polished, and the finish is beautiful, very smooth. It locks very solid like all the Gerbers. It's got a very good edge on it. And this little thing, this is the tiniest knife I ever owned. 1.3. So it's a good little all-around pocket knife for whatever use you're going to give it. This little stuff, And I bought like 3 of these, and I gave some of them to my friends' kids. They got teenagers, and I said, here, a man should carry a knife in his pocket. Not a big knife, just this. So they got that. This thing was my wife's father's knife. I kept it out of respect. The knife is not really all that good. It's called an Explorer, and it doesn't really lock. I'm not even pushing the mechanism, and it's just gone. I just keep it in the drawer. I hardly use it. It's just like an imitation old buck knife, which I used to have one. I don't know, I lost it. Okay, now this one was left in a property of mine. Somebody rented the property and they left, and this is a brand new, never been used Elk Ridge knife with a sheath, and it's got a very heavy duty. I mean, look at the thickness on the back of this thing. It's a heavy duty knife. It's a good 6 inches or so. I haven't measured it, but it's pretty long. It's a little short on the handle though. So when you grab it, I put my hand around here so you can grab it. Yeah, you can still make some use out of this. And I never bothered to call the guy back. If he left it, it's mine. And this one is, let's see, 9.5. This is not something that I would carry on a backpacking trip, but it's got a very good sheath and belt holder right there. So it's a good all-around knife, I think. Okay, and I had this old knife. This thing comes with a guard across and kind of loops around like one of those pirate swords, but it's a little bit too much, so I just took it off. And this is like an old Rambo imitation. It's also a United, so I guess I just noticed that. And it's got the stainless, made in Taiwan. I've used it a lot. It's kind of dirty right now. It holds the edge very good. It's got a good, saw bone cutter, or I don't know exactly what you use these for. You're not going to use this like a saw. I guess you could if you have to, but. And then it has the little cheapy compass, and then inside it's got the stuff, the match and the fishing line and the little magnifying glass for making fire and that kind of thing. This knife, I used to carry this when I would go hunting. It's just a little bit on the big side. And then I also have a sharpening stone right in there. And this knife weighs, this thing's a little on the big side. It's a good foot long. Well, almost about 10 inches or so. This one is 1 pound 0.4 ounces. Now this is the Ontario knife. The Ontario knife is called the Spec Plus Survival, and the blade is 10 inches long. It's made in Ontario, USA. And this knife, it's also I believe 1.4. I weighed it once before. And this knife is it's like a cap knife. You can carry with you to you know, you can use it for cutting wood or whatever. You're not going to do work on a deer with this massive thing. It's more like a, I don't know, like a kabar knife, if you want to use it. This one, it's an old, I found this in I used to work in construction a long time ago, and I found this, believe it or not, inside a wall. This is and I knew the guy that owned the house. I asked him, he let me keep it. He said this thing was made out of an industrial hacksaw blade. So this hacksaw blade will go on the machine and automatically cut constantly on steel. So basically this edge, or the whole blade, I'm not sure if it's just the edge, it has diamond powder coating. That's why it can hold the edge, and this thing can cut like anything. So when I found it, this is stainless too, here. When I found it, it was kind of corroded a little bit, and little pits here and there. And I found this old timer that he works on knives, and it didn't have the handle. So he made this handle for me out of briar wood, which is the same wood used on pipes, smoking pipes. And he polished it up, but he didn't put an edge on it. And he just told me, give me whatever you want. And I said, well, $20. He goes, fine. So he made me basically a new knife for $20. And then I paid, just last year, I put an edge on this thing. And believe me, this thing is so sharp. So I'm going to sell the Ontario. I'm going to keep this one. It's got a very good balance also, and it also weighs the same as the Ontario. It's a 1.4. And it's so shiny you can usually use it as a signal mirror if you need to. Well, I guess if you don't want to be seen, then you don't want to be using that. Okay, and then I did a video already that was kind of laughable. I tried to cut a branch on a tree that I thought it was an oak, and it turned out to be a plum tree. Hello. And I was using the wrong blade. I haven't changed it still because I can't find the rip blade for these. And I only went to Home Depot a couple of times. They don't have it, so the hell with it. Don't need it. I'm gonna get rid of. I'm just gonna keep this for home work and home use. So I went ahead and bought this one for about from Lowe's. I think I paid $12 for this, and this is gonna be the way to go because it's got a button right here. Because this puppy has blades that'll cut coming and going. So you on the 4-stroke and on the reverse, you're cutting constantly. On the other one, you're only cutting one way, which is let's see, it's going back. So it's like a hacksaw type. This is a really wood cutting tool. This thing is lighter. It's a little heavier than the other one, but for what it does a lot. This is 7.6. So I'm taking this, and this fits in my pack. In my other pack, it fits perfectly. And then I'm going to compare it to the Fisk. What do you call them? Fish Shark, Fish Shark, something like that. Can't read the spelling. Nothing. Anyways, this thing also has a very good blade, but I believe that the cheaper one, I paid $24, $25 for this one. That one is half the price, but that one has got meaner teeth. It looks like that one could do the better cutting. And I did a little research, and this thing's been around. They're very famous. That one is just an off-brand, I guess. It says here China. That's basically it, which everything else these days is made in China. But I'm going to do another demo on cutting branches with these and see which one is the best one, and then whoever makes it stays and whoever doesn't goes back to the store. That's why I'm keeping the packaging. The Fish Shark weighs 8.1, so right there it's already losing out on the other one. The other's a little lighter. So, but we'll see. If it's just a few, if it's a little heavier than the other one but it cuts better, I'll keep this one, because it's all about the performance, and then you worry about the weight later. But this is also good. It's easy to carry, put it on the pack, and take care of business. So there it is, short and sweet, and I hope it wasn't boring. And later on I'm going to see if I can do a video on the water pump that I bought from MSR, and it's the model. I'll talk about it when it's time to do that, and then I'll do a video and see how much water I can pump within, I don't know, a minute. I'm also going to talk about the bladder and the canteen, bladder versus canteen. I'm old school, so now you know which one I'm going. Alright guys, so hope you enjoy this. We'll see you later. Bye.